What is up, YouTube? So we're going to be going over some starter builds basically out of the jungle. I've seen some videos and I've seen a lot of streamers who aren't necessarily junglers building some wacky ass shit. I highly recommend you go off of kind of what I'm telling you, not really do exactly what I'm saying, but I'm going to explain why you do certain things and why they're better. So try to just take that in, and instead of just blindly following what some people have been putting out in their content, just don't do it, is my recommendation. So I'm literally just gonna jump into it real quick. You've got the potential to do double starters right now, which is gonna be very, very important for a lot of the top junglers and a lot of the junglers you're gonna want to be playing. So Bumba's Mask, if you did not know, it was changed. If you do not get the last hits, you do not get the sustain. You don't get the health back, you don't get the mana restored, and you don't get the additional gold. You do, however, get 15 true damage every time you auto attack a jungle creep, and you get 15% more damage on your abilities to the jungle camp. So basically, you can clear faster, and Bumba's is awesome for when you're solo clearing. It's not so awesome when you're splitting camp, which happens a lot. Doesn't happen all the time. It's not every second, especially in your casual games. But it is going to be very difficult for you to manage last hits all the time. I would tell you get them as much as possible, but don't focus on it. Don't make that the whole point of your fucking jungle, because if you do that, you're never going to get the last hits. You're going to be pissed off, and it's going to be pointless because the gold is very minimal. But with that being said, Bumba's Mask is still a great start because you do clear by yourself occasionally. Bat camps are worth a fuck ton of gold. They also have a lot of health. All the camps have increased health. They're harder to kill. But at the same time with Bumba's, they're easy to kill. It's kind of weird. I wouldn't start at a camp at level 1. I wouldn't solo camp at level 1, but level 3, 5, so on, it's pretty easy. So Bumba's is going to be a starter item that I use in pretty much every single. And then this is where things can get tricky, interesting. You have to really know the gods you're playing. I will break them down real quick. I'm just going to go over at the end and kind of say this is what I do on this, and this. But anyway, you've got Rangdas, which is the new mask, which sucks balls. Realistically, in casual, sure, it'll be really fun. It's a super snowbally item. But in general, in any real games, in any games you think are going to be try hard, if you're trying to play for real, Rangdas is not going to be picked up. The fact of getting 16 stacks, such as either 16 assists or 8 kills or a mix of assists and kills, it's just very unlikely to get it by the time it's really relevant. Plus, when you sell it, you lose all the stacks. So I don't recommend ever picking up Rangdas Mask unless you're just messing around with your friends. Now, Bumba's and Bluestone combo is fan-fucking-tastic. You get the jungle clear, you get the fucking Bluestone proc, you get extra power, you get the mana sustain, which you really don't have in the jungle anymore. Bumba's Mask used to give you mana per 5 while you were running around all the time, which was awesome. You could count on getting that mana back. Well, that's gone. You have to last the camps to get any mana sustain, and it's only 25 mana per creep you kill. Not that good. Bluestone, however, makes up for that. It gives you some mana to start, and it gives you MP5. Not a crazy amount, decent amount of MP5. 5 MP5. But the fact that you get power, extra power, plus the stacking dot bullshit that you get from the passive, it's disgusting. It makes gods like Susano, you're going to be able to have this crazy fucking early game that you were unable to have before. You had 0 early game. You were poop. Susano struggled in the invade meta because his early game was shit. Well, now with Bluestone, he fucking does a shit ton of damage. Off his 1, he can proc Bluestone, fucking auto attack, proc it again. I think it procs off. Might be wrong there, but either way, it's more damage. I might be wrong about that. But it definitely procs off the first use of your 1, which is actually a fuck ton of extra damage, plus the extra Bluestone damage in general, because you're getting 15, as we talked about before. It's pretty fucking disgusting. Now, this isn't going to be relevant on every single jungler. I will break that down at the end on which gods I build what. But basically on Bluestone, you're building it on ability-based junglers that you want to be super aggressive on or that have bad early games. Then we can move on to Destol. So you'd be going Bumba's Destol. And in this situation, it's more so you have the sustain, plus you got an extra fucking 100 HP. The sustain is coming from your auto attacks, which is giving you 8 health and 3 mana every fucking creep you hit. So if you have a cleave like Osiris on your attack chain, or like Bellona with your 2, you can sustain a fuck ton of HP with every single swing. It's kind of gross, especially when you're like fighting 2 or 3 gods at the same time, just sustaining off of Destol. It makes no sense. Plus there's 10 power, which is... So, these are my starter starter items, if that makes sense. At the start of the game, these are the starter items I think about picking up. I never really, I dabbled in Watchers. It does give you extra farm, but it's not worth it. What you lose is just too much. Swiftwing is ass cheeks. Whenever you leave the lane, you get 40% movement speed. So it's basically anytime you back, you're getting a ton of movement speed. But you don't fucking get any power off of this. It if you were to get this, it's just delaying your early game a shit ton. It allows you to leave the base earlier, which you really shouldn't be leaving the base that much. I mean, especially in the first 10 minutes, you shouldn't be backing like 10 times. That's just terrible. It makes no fucking sense. So Swiftwing is pretty poo-poo for the jungle at least, and same with War Flag. I don't really know how often this in general is going to get used, but in the jungle, I'm really only building Bumba's Mask, Bluestone Pendant, Death Toll as starter items. So starter item that I'm building at the start of the game. Now you can go, we already have Bumbas. As I said, I pretty much always build Bumbas. You can go Bumbas into boots too, and that will leave you at 100 gold left, and you can buy a health and a mana pot or 2 health pots, whatever you need on the god. Now if you're going into this, in my eyes, you are foregoing the whole super aggressive fucking I want to fight bullshit, because with rank 2 boots, you're only getting 10 power and you're getting more movement. So it's a little bit less power, about the same as Death Toll, but you don't get the health, you don't get the fucking passive that you get, the sustain from Death Toll or the dot from Bluestone. So it's a little bit less aggressive. This is more, I don't want to fight, I just want to farm, I want to get my boots online, and I want to get into my build as fast as possible. This is for really for gods that have an okay early game, maybe not the best, but definitely not the worst, and are just looking to get their build online as fast as fucking possible. Gods like Kali, this might be something you want to think on, just as an example. I will talk about this at the end, like I've said 10 times. But that is an option. Now, if you're going into mages, the starter items are a little bit different. So let me jump over to a mage real fast. We'll just jump on fucking, let's go Morgan, because Morgan's sick as fuck. So yeah. Starter items, still going to be Bumba's Mask on Morgan. And then your options are a little bit different because you're not getting Bluestone, blah, 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 blah. You really just want to look at either a Vamp Shroud or a Sands of Time. So Sands of Time is the same situation. This is the same as going Bluestone, Death Toll, or Bluestone. Not Bluestone, sorry. Bumba's Death Toll or Bumba's Bluestone on an assassin or a regular melee physical god. But on a mage, it's kind of the same thing. You're going Bumba's, Sands of Time. You're getting 20 power, 5 MP5, 10 cooldown. So you're getting that sustain, similar to Bluestone. Getting the power, similar to Bluestone. And the passive on this is more MP5, where the passive on Bluestone is extra damage. But on this, you get 10% CDR. 10% CDR on an assassin is a full fucking Hydra's. A Hydra's is 2100 gold. This is 10 CDR for 800 gold at the start of the game. So on a god like Morgan, who as soon as you wish you had CDR, you now have it. You now have your abilities up that much faster. That extra second or whatever you're getting off is fucking disgusting. It allows you to have an early game as a mage. How this will affect mages, really unsure as of right now. But I know when I'm building a mage in the jungle, I enjoy using this item specifically. Now, if I'm playing a god like Anubis, some people like Anubis, some people like to do that stuff. You know, I run whatever in the jungle. Ideally, you're going to look for either Sands of Time or you're going to look for Vamp Shroud. Vamp Shroud is now giving you 20 power, 100 health, more sustain, more life, more, you're going to live a little bit longer, plus lifesteal, plus killing enemies gives you 10 health and 5 mana. So this is going to give you wave sustain. So even if you're not in the jungle with your Bumbas, you can now kill enemies in the lane. So you're Anubis, who has great clear even as a jungler. You're fucking getting extra health and mana, more sustain. You're getting lifesteal, more sustain, plus you have extra health, plus more power. Going double starter as a mage is fucking insane. It's just like how Susanoo now has an early game. You actually have a little bit more presence as a jungle mage, where old jungle mage had no damage at all, had nothing to do, was basically just praying that you didn't get invaded, you didn't have to fight until you got boots or got some damage online. That was your goal, that was your plan. Well, now, instantly level 1, you have a little bit of damage, you actually have that power that was missing, which is awesome. At the same time as those starter items, we talked about boots 2 on assassins, similar to mages. You're playing someone who you just know you want to get your build online as fast as possible, and you have a decent amount of damage just based on your abilities without any power. You don't need any sustain, any of that shit. You can go into boots 2 and try to get your build online as fast as possible. You really have to know how you're planning on playing going into the game. Granted, if you're playing casuals, just make a decision. Decide, hey, this is how I want to play out this match, and go for it. Build whatever you want. You want to go for the full build or just getting your build online? Go boots 2. Go Bumba's boots 2 and just go with it. Play the play style you're looking to play. It's simple as that right now at the start of season 2. Or sorry, season 4. I wish we were in season 2. That was forever ago. So these are my basic starts. And for relics, it's kind of the same situation. Relics wise, haven't changed too much other than the upgrades. I'll make a video talking about upgrades and all that bullshit. Basically, in most junglers, you're getting beads because it's pretty freaking standard. Hog, which is the old Wrath. If I can find it, I don't even know what it looks like. Hand of the Gods, old Wrath, whatever. Old Hand of the Gods, then Wrath, now Hand of the Gods again. Pretty average, not being built too much. If you're invading, which isn't ideal because of the way the jungle spawns with the wave, you can go Hand of the Gods, or if you're looking to push a wave and then invade, Hand of the Gods is an option. But as a starter, whatever you're doing, I'm suggesting either Aegis, whatever they change it to. Where is it? Beads or fucking Aegis. I don't even know what these look like anymore, dude. There you go. Aegis, Amulet, or Beads. I'm going Beads like 95% of the time. So hopefully that breaks down the starter items well enough for you to just know what you're doing based on level 1. The next video, I will cover the actual starts that you're looking at in this season and what seems to be the most viable and what your other options are. Hopefully this helps you guys a little teeny bit. Oh, I lied. I gotta go back into the gods real fast. We'll go in through... I'm gonna start in the mages. Morrigan, I talked about the CDR being important, so on Morrigan start, I'm going Bumbas into Sands of Time. Ao Kuang, I'm still unsure. I'm probably going into Sands of Time just to have a little bit more CDR and be more aggressive on the god in general. If you're looking to not die, then the other item is fucking fantastic, the Vamp Shroud. Aside from that, there aren't too many mages being played in the jungle. Freya actually does have a lot of presence. Freya's start can be a little teeny bit different. You can go Bumbas into Vamp Shroud, or because of your sustain, you can actually just start with a lifesteal item and go rank 2 Bancroft and go into, Talent Trinket into Bancroft. So you'll start this, you'll go probably health and a mana, sometimes 2 mana, because you will have no mana return with this build. You'll basically be looking to fucking snowball your ass off if you just forgo Bumbas and Boots and you're just looking to go right into Talent Trinket. There are some mages, Hebo, you can also do this on. A lot of the gods that are just super aggressive and can get away with this and just play aggressive. Try not to waste your mana though at the same time. It's a little bit contradictory, but it is an option, something you might want to play with. I'll have some videos online of that just to help you guys understand that a little bit more. So, as I said, for a lot of the mages, Morrigan, I'm getting the Bumba CDR. Ao Kuang, probably Bumba CDR, maybe Vamp Shroud. For Freya, probably Bumba's Vamp Shroud, extra sustain. You want to be able to live and do a little bit of damage. Freya actually does decent damage with those items, which is awesome. Even Hebo, if you're playing that, the CDR item makes your 1 on the shortest cooldown fucking ever. So, thinking about Bumbas and Sands of Time on Hebo. Assassin-wise, you've got Arachne, who's not really super ability-based. Granted, you do get a little bit of poke on your 1 if you have Bluestone, but I like the sustain. I also like Boots. On Arachne, I've been going Bumbas, Boots too. You can go Bumbas, Death Toll if you're looking to just play a little bit slower. It works. Awilix, you're going Bumbas, Bluestone. Baka, you're going Bumbas, Death Toll. Assume I'm going Bumbas. I'm just going to say Death Toll or Bluestone from here on out. Bastet, Bluestone. Camazotz, Bluestone. You already have a ton of sustain. You don't need Death Toll. You can go it though. Fenrir, Bluestone, or Boots too. Camazotz can also go Boots too because you already have the sustain. These two are kind of back and forth. I like the Boots 2 start, and I try to get Boots online and just be aggressive from level 5 on. With Bluestone, I'm looking to fight early. Hun Bats, also a toss-up. Bluestone is nice. Death Toll's average. Boots 2, looking to get to level 5 is usually my ideal. Kali, usually Boots 2, looking to get to level 5 as fast as possible, unless you know you're going to fight. I have gone Bluestone to fight and be super aggressive on Kali. It works. And I have gone the sustain build with Death Toll. It's just a little bit slower. I think I like the aggressive Bluestone the most and just fighting. But if you know the other team comps a better level 1 than you, a better early game than you, just go into Boots and try to farm it out. Loki, you don't want to get Bluestone because it's really not going to do that much for you. I've been trying Bumba's Hydras. You just have no sustain. It's super risky. Don't recommend it. Hydras 2, that is. You can also just go Bumba's Boots 2 and farm it out. You can also forego Bumbas altogether and just try to sustain and play as smart as you can. Start Hydras and Boots 1, some health and mana pot. Whatever you're feeling. Mercury, I've also gone Bumba's Boots. It's the most ideal if you're going for the early early crit build, just going right into crit. You can also go Death Toll if you're just looking for the sustain. I'd recommend probably Boots 2. Death Toll makes the game go a little bit slower than usual. If you're jungling a lot by yourself, pick up the Death Toll. If you don't know your mid laner, your team is just not that good, aren't rotating your camps, aren't doing shit for you, pick up Death Toll. Ninja, Bluestone, 100%. You're super aggressive. You do a fuck ton of damage. It's kind of broken. Nemesis, Death Toll, Sustain is going to slow you down a lot, but it's awesome for jungling because you have shitty jungle clear. Ratatasker, Bluestone, extra damage. Circuit, Bluestone. I think Circuit is going to be fantastic in this meta. If you level 1, if you manage to hit your all three times on somebody with Bluestone, they get fucking destroyed. It does so much damage. Susano, Bluestone. Thanatos, Death Toll, more sustain, tankier, extra life, standard. Thor, either Boots 2 or Bluestone. If you're fighting really, really early, Bluestone. If you're looking to get your build online, Boots 2. We'll jump into the Warriors real quick. I'm not going to go through all the Warriors. I think Bologna is going to be played a lot. Pick up Bumba's Death Toll. I think Guan has potential. Bumba's Bluestone. I think Nike 100% has potential. I'm usually going Bumba's Bluestone to make the early game a little bit better, but you can go Bumba's Boots 2. Odin, Bumba's Bluestone. Osiris, Bumba's Death Toll. Robin, not really sure yet if I'm going to be playing much Robin, so I don't want to tell you to build anything yet, and the other ones will not be played all too much. Guardian build, super, super good right now. Guardians are fucking disgusting. At least the 2 Guardians I like to play in the jungle. You've got Athena. You're going Bumbas into Sands of Time. CDR as soon as you get your ult. Broken. Ymir, same thing. Getting the CDR so your stun is on a shorter cooldown, so you're going Bumbas Sands of Time. It's fucking gross. I will have a guide for you on the start of jungling, the start, where you want to start, how you want to start, and why you want to do it, coming up probably the day after you see this video. And then I will have a basic build guide coming out for Guardians, because I think these 2 are going to have the same build. And then we will go into individual builds from there on out, while also throwing you guys content that I can think of that'll help you out. Just the little tips and tricks that you're missing, you don't really understand right now. Relics will also be a guide that comes out this week or within the next 7 days, because I know people are really struggling with relics. So hopefully this little bit helps you. I know I went over it kind of quickly, but it is basic once you really grasp why these starter items are good and why you should be building them. Hopefully this video helps you guys, and I will see you in the videos tomorrow. Sacred.